Good morning, I am Mo, and I'm joined here today with Rick. So to keep the biographies short, at IBM, we're both part of the cloud team. I sit in my office, and I do a lot of the thinking part, and I'm therefore very happy to have Rick here with me because he does all the doing part.
Practical stuff.
Yeah, all the real stuff. Last year, I was actually here at ChefConf, and just reiterating what Adam said, I really had the pleasure of co-presenting with Mitch. Mitch and I had a long relationship. We really bonded, and I really wanted to echo quite a bit of what Adam said. The inspiration that Mitch brought was not something that was just inside of the chef family, but it's certainly one that extended across the whole, if you like, industry, certainly with Team IBM. Now, at that time, I was talking, and I made a whole bunch of silly things, and I was talking about a whole gorilla scenario, and Mitch, in his style, made it look much better. So we decided this year we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to seek inspiration from a different source. And at this time, what I would like you to do, just in the next 20 minutes or so, is sit back, relax, just for a moment, and imagine that we are far away in the future. Far away in the future. And it's April 18th. And I know it's tomorrow, but just stick with me. And the inevitable actually happened, which is something that we've been seeing on TV shows. Robots have now actually invaded the universe.
Today, we're going to discuss something critical to the continued existence of the human race, and that is how to survive a potential robot apocalypse. Obviously, the first objective of the evil machines will be to destroy our ability to track them. So, we're going to harness the power of social media to build a robot tracking application using IBM's new cloud platform. Okay, first off, we all know that robots are very mobile and possess a collective awareness, right? So let's pull in some mapping databases so humans can geotag photos of nefarious robot activity. We'll also need a feature to ensure our photos are archived appropriately, as each robot will exhibit its own method for human annihilation. We'll then want to connect the app with cloud scores to create some social buzz and ensure participation. And since there will likely be a total network infrastructure collapse, we'll need Bluetooth capabilities to maintain peer-to-peer communication. And then we'll need to give it a name.
This is the part you get anxious. Rick, I know yesterday you were partying and all, and I know we did a nice commercial. This was just all a commercial about some robot avoidance system. But had you listened to me, and had you actually paid attention, we could have actually had this thing ready. It happened sooner than what we think. But instead, hang on, I need to practice some cruel empathy. Like Adam said, Rick, I know you were partying and you didn't have time, but you know it's pretty bad out there at the moment, and robots are kind of destroying everything around us. And I'm not sure whether this whole commercial, how are we going to build this thing? How are we going to bring it to life?
We've actually got the hardware to do that already, or not even just the hardware, but all the systems we need. So to do that, we've taken all of the hardware I kept buying and buying, you told me that you didn't have budget for, that we went ahead and put all the network, the compute, and the storage under an OpenStack cloud. This gives us the ability to, do the infrastructure as a service very quickly, very easily. Going from there, what we've done is we've put on top of that our cloud orchestration capabilities with some tight integrations with Chef, and now we're able to slam down as many different patterns of service that we need. WebSphere application servers, as many as we need. DB2 all day long. LAMP stacks, as many as you want. This allows us to just keep throwing out as many different platforms as we need for however many different applications that we need. Taking it to the next step, we have our continuous delivery and DevOps solutions being able to push our applications down on there as much as we need. From incubation to production, all of these applications are able to now be, thought of and then delivered pretty much top to bottom, utilizing all of everything that Adam just talked about in his excellent keynote.
So let me get this straight. So you weren't actually partying with all these other humanoids in here. You actually did listen to me. You managed to salvage all the stuff, our whole storage and network. You built a little cloud, which I guess everybody needs one. Thank God for OpenStack and all the chef recipes that our fellow humanoids here contributed. You then plugged in a cloud management system so that we can scale the app, plugged in a little bit more recipes so that we can configure all the database and everything. Okay, I get that. And then you surrounded it with a pipe. You did all the stuff around continuous testing, integration, and a little bit more monitoring. Sounds good. I got the app. It's running. But I guess we all know that these robots are a little bit smarter than we think. I mean, I'm already getting the text messages and the calls telling me that they've already figured out that we have this little app, and we got to make some changes. I mean, these robots are actually hacking. Forget about Heartbleed. They're freaking hacking into our app. How are we going to change this app quickly? I mean, I can't have people sitting in there and coding stuff. I got to get the developers unleashed. How are we going to do this?
We've got that covered just as well.
Since the robots will probably reduce our communities to rubble, let's tap our global positioning systems to help our survivors establish secure meetup locations using IBM's new cloud platform. Okay, first we'll select a backend. And then we'll need to give it a name. One thing that these cunning robots are sure to do is destroy prominent landmarks to create hysteria. So let's add a MongoDB database with geospatial indices. This will ensure accurate, voice-guided GPS updates to help navigate the ruins of our cities. And seeing that the evil machines will likely use packet sniffers to infiltrate our networks, let's connect the application using a single sign-on service for only those with a valid account. We'll then use mobile data services to add a rating and comment section. This will help promote desirable rally points for organizing.
So this service-oriented architecture capability gives us the ability just to do exactly what you're talking about. We can bring in through Bluemix the ability to now integrate with all of our internet age databases. So we can go with security services, database services, social services, since everybody has a new social network they need to join every day. All of these can be easily integrated through infrastructure to consume it, as well as now we can go ahead and leverage some of our existing infrastructure to stand up existing services and have others in the community consume these services. So this gives us the ability to now, help our fellow robot resistance fighters go out and deliver any type of service they need, tracking, location, where the shelters are, things like that they can quickly and easily plug and play into our service-oriented architecture.
So, okay, I got the infrastructure bonus. And I'm glad we used this whole open stack. It allowed us to plug into all the stuff we had and the junk we acquired and salvaged from the rubble and all. We got the app, we got the whole continuous delivery thing worked out, and now we unleash this app for all of our developers. Essentially, we gave them a platform as a service. And what you're telling me is these guys can, instead of coding now, they essentially can start to go and move into this new world of composition, where they essentially choose whatever service they want, and the platform takes care of it. I kind of remember Adam talked about this. I don't know if it was a dream or not. They just don't need to worry about all the complexity underneath. The fellow, robot fighter resistance team now can simply just tap it into it, right?
Exactly.
And hang on. And what you're telling me is that is also now plugged down into our scalable infrastructure, that simply as these guys just plug in the apps, I can just pop them down in there, and this whole avoidance systems is just going to keep running.
100%. It's all code.
Can I trust you? Cruel empathy. Can I trust you?
Yes.
Can I trust you? Okay, good. Very good.
We'll deliver.
All right. Well, that is actually good. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Hey, hi. What? Nah, you're kidding me. Seriously? Damn. Okay. No, don't worry. I'm okay. I got Rick here, so I'm okay. Don't worry. We're okay. Okay. Rick, exactly. It just happened. Exactly what I've been thinking. They found our data center. It's gone. It's destroyed. What are we going to do now?
Besides finding me a new office, we'll just provision one in a new soft layer data center. Doing this, we can leverage IBM Cloud Orchestrator to now provision as many of the patterns as we were using before, like I said, whatever application stacks we need. Now we can provision them from our managed data centers to the globally distributed public cloud inside SoftLayer. So now we have all the redundancy, all the security, all the capabilities in there, but it's around the world, so we can keep one step ahead of the robots.
So, hang on, let me get this straight, because I kind of remember about couple of months back, we tried to do this, and we had to go build a whole new data center, and we tried to do this whole thing with public clouds, and it just didn't work. I had to reset up everything and reconfigure everything. Are you telling me that what we built in here with Chef and IBM actually is just resilient to all this stuff?
It's resilient and API driven. Like I told you, give me an API and I'll make you happy.
And the recipes, they just worked?
Using the IBM Cloud Orchestrator stack, they were easy to move up and kind of keep up and running.
And the whole app just moved, everybody's app?
Everything is just a mirror image of what it was before, out of the rubble. We've got a new app up and running, able to stay ahead of the robots.
All right, so I guess this is the whole stuff that everybody's been talking about. This is the new era of cloud, where we really can start to extract and abstract the whole infrastructure. I don't care what I have, as long as I've built it on a standard API, essentially a standard infrastructure as a service layer. I now can plug in the app. So all this stuff we've been doing in marketing really works. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. That's good. And now I've built my app, and I've built it with any programming language I want, and I've actually been able to set it all up. And once I've set up my whole app, I use this community-driven fellow, robot resistance fighters, put all of this stuff up, bind it together, and I can scale it. I need more instances, it just goes up. All right? And then once I've done that, I've given all of these developers a whole pipeline. They don't need to worry about the testing and this fails and which version and all that kind of stuff. And I've actually even integrated some operational stuff so they can get continuous monitoring. As the application rolls, if there's more stuff I need, I roll up more of the infrastructure. And then I guess once we've done all of that, we've kind of unleashed this whole system, right? We've given them a whole platform. They can plug, assemble mobile applications in minutes. They can plug into all of the social services that the community is loading into this new platform as a service. And once I've actually done that, I now can take this whole system and make it run on-prem or in a new data center, because these goddamn robots just took down our data center. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly. Come full circle.
Bingo? Wow. Well, Rick, I'm glad I didn't need to do the firing part. You really did race to the occasion.
So you can do the promotion and race part then.
I think it's time for a promotion. But, what's interesting as I think about this, Rick, is that all of the stuff we talked here about was kind of very technology-oriented. And I guess there's a whole different angle to it than that.
I mean, that just comes from the community and being able to leverage our open community, open approach here, and being able to talk about everything that Adam talked about earlier of embracing the community aspect.
So I think this is exactly at the heart of what, if anything, we want to make sure we talk to everybody here about, fellow robot resistance fighters. It's really not just the tools, and Adam touched on this a lot. It's really not just the technologies, and it's no longer about a single vendors. The power is shifting to the hands of developers. And developers who are really leveraging a lot of these open technologies. We see it at IBM, we see it in the industry, we see it with a lot of our clients. Develop with your programming language of choice. Leverage automation as the key engine that enables you. And very, very importantly, share that automation. Unleash the power of a community. Whether it's OpenStack, which is one of the fastest growing open source and open projects that we've ever encountered, more than Linux, more than anything else we've seen. Whether it is Chef and all of you guys and all of us back in the offices who may be watching this, who are really building some automations and actually contributing them back so that people could reuse them and tap into them. It's the next generation cloud platforms, not the ones that are proprietary and locked in, but the ones that are open, that are actually starting to take advantage of new notions. Things such as, for example, heat templates, where I can create some new applications and make them portable. These things are really making a difference. It's no longer I'm getting a cheaper option. It's no longer that I am just working on something cool and fast. It's actually the power. The power in cloud is to leverage all of these open communities. And you know what? It's not just open source technologies and communities. There is the whole standards aspect. All of this stuff, this robot avoidance system, it's actually very representative of a couple of enterprise applications that we see. And they come together, and they work, and they don't take months. And that's because there are standards right at the infrastructure, Open Daylight, and the like. There are standards occurring at the application levels, like Tosca, like Heat and others, that are allowing us to connect these things. And then there are communities who are further opening themselves up. We've seen this with even services like Mongo, that really now can essentially just instantiate itself into the next generation platforms. So if you didn't hear it well, hear it again. Dear fellow robot resistance fighters, we have made it. You need to give your hands a big clap in here, because we have managed to survive.
So come join us in either fighting the robots or just learning more about all the stuff that Mo just talked about and we went through here. We have a booth on the show floor directly in the doors behind you. We've got a couple of sessions this afternoon. So Anne-Marie will be talking in Bayview AB at 125. Myself and Tim will be talking in 220 in Pacific NO. And then you can check out the links there for a lot of shorter links than we're used to for some of the latest and greatest information we've got for cloud, beta signups, and then trial accounts across all the stuff that you saw up here.
So nobody else is going to come to the rescue, as Adam said, except for you, fellow guys. So as Rick said, please do try it. You've heard us today. You may forget it. You probably have seen it. A little bit of the video will remind you of this, but we want you to try it. Go to the actual robot, sign up, get into Bluemix, get your hands dirty, and give us some feedback. We'd love to hear what you have to say. We're now up to, I think, we're really in the upper thousands of people who are playing with this in the current beta, and we'd love to get you all engaged in it. With that, thank you very much, and thank you for listening to us. Appreciate it.